Sweeter Beat Production.
What's going on, everybody? So I got something interesting for you guys. I just want to say thank you for the 100 subscribers, first off, because I have been waiting to hit that number so that I can start a new journey, and that's what this is. This is going to be a new journey. I have been wanting to talk about spirituality and my journey, and just information that is spiritual and information of law of attraction, certain things, and I've applied them into my life and into action, and I want to now speak about what I've been through and certain things and the knowledge and wisdom that I know. So for this video, it's 6 questions that can help you bring more awareness into your reality. And I got my little notebook here to help me guide myself through this. I'm sure eventually in the future they're going to be a little bit more fluid, but as of right now I have 6 questions. So, are there any limits to the law of attraction? This question is a really interesting question because people don't believe that there are no limits in this reality. They believe that there are a limit to it. You know, they don't believe that they can have $1 billion, $1 trillion, or whatever it is. Now, the interesting thing about this question is that there are limits, but there are only limits to what you give yourself. So let's say that you want $1 million, right? We'll start out small. In my eyes, I feel like, you know, $1 million to me is going to be a small part of something else. And so for me, I'm willing to do a lot to get to these points and these steps in my life. So for example, for myself, to bring more clarity to this question, I asked myself when I was in North Carolina, I said, what am I willing to go through to become this successful dancer, this successful entrepreneur, whatever it is that I wanted to, you know, to be free, and what was I willing to do to go through that? And homelessness went through my mind. I was like, yeah, that's fine, check that off, like, it's okay. You know, it's all an experience. You know, you can't focus on where you are now because it's all a journey. That's why the journey is so much fun, because it never has to be permanent. So if you are wanting something in life and you aren't even willing to do something like that, like to be homeless, then clearly you are not ready for what you actually want. So, you know, if you want $1 trillion, what are you actually willing to do? How much, you know, emotional turmoil or whatever it is that are you willing to go through and then learn from and come out, you know, on top, you know, through your journey, you know, and how long, you know, people put a time limit on the law of attraction and when it's supposed to manifest, and that is the key that you cannot do. You can't put a time limit on when things are going to manifest, because the universe it works in mysterious ways, in ways that you can't predict. So you can't predict the time of when things will just manifest. The only thing you can do to help with the law of attraction that I'll add to this question is that your energy has to be right. You have to have the same frequency and vibration of being a trillionaire, a billionaire, a millionaire. You have to have the same love for your everyday reality, because you're a billionaire already. You're already a millionaire. You are already successful right now. So you have to feel that same vibrational frequency to where you can actually understand what it is to bring that law of attraction into your reality. So are there any limits to the law of attraction? If you ask me, I say no. It's just people got it really twisted on how the law of attraction works, because they don't apply these daily things to reach insane levels of abundance or wealth or whatever it is that they have in their foresight. Okay, on to question number 2. So question number 2 is, where or when did everything begin to form in our existence? Oh man. So this question right here is probably like the most thought of question from people who are just not aware of what this reality is, right? So they're always on this curious, like, how did I get here? What am I? What is all this? And really, that question is like a really, really powerful question, because if you ask me, you cannot really comprehend what infinity is. And if everything is infinite, because I believe in that, you know, I have that on my neck tattooed, because it's like, for me, it's like a badge of honor. That's what all my tattoos are. They're like badges, and I wear them with, you know, pride and not a non-egotistical, you know, outlook or perspective on these. It's just, this is like what gives me the confidence to want to speak to just anybody, right? Um, but really, to this question, like, God is, or the existence of what created God, when did it all happen? Well, technically, it kind of like it already happened, right? And before there was nothing, there was still something, because nothing is something. So, where did everything begin to form in our existence, or form order in our existence? Well, technically nothing was already an order. It was already in order, right? So there was already something in existence. And to, again, fathom that thought of what was before creation is not, you cannot, I don't even think we as humans are allowed to understand that, because that is the fun part about this life, is always searching for that new bliss, or that new experience, or that new happiness, right? Because I'm not saying that searching for bliss on a daily basis. What I'm saying is that searching for something new that can also bring you bliss, because you're already happy, so you're excited to seek out a new experience, right? So if you ask me, where or when did everything begin to form order in our existence? It's already going on right now. It's actually happening. And now this question is like so deep that I had to make a separate video just on that question alone, because of how deep it is. So everything is happening here and now. So if you ask me, there's things happening so infinitely. And again, this question is one for the books. That is one for humanity right there. So that's an insanely great question. But if you ask me, I believe it was already happening. Things were already going on, because nothing is something. You cannot have nothing without it being something. It's kind of like an oxymoron. It's a paradox, right? The third question is, how do you channel other beings? Now, this question is a very interesting question to people who are starting to wake up into the spiritual realms, the ether, and things like that. And really, I was kind of aware about these three channels, because there's actually three different channels of ways to channel, and I didn't really know it, but I was aware of that. I never really looked deep into it, so this question really brought up something for me to do, to learn and go more in depth with it. But kind of what I'm doing right now is it would be called intuitive channeling, right? Intuitive channeling is kind of like a flow state where you're having like a conversation with somebody. So I'm like, in a sense, on this conversation wavelength with you guys. And then the second type would be conscious, right? So I'm calling out and I'm asking for a conscious flow of channeling, right? Because I have a divine message to give. Not that my message isn't divine right now with what I'm saying, but it's a more focused, consciously aware state, right? Intuition and intuitive flowing is kind of like you're just talking like I'm doing now, and then it's just kind of flowing, and it's coming in, and it's going out, right? The conscious state is very, very in the now. You're very present with what you're taking in, and you're going to put back out. The third one is trance. Trance channeling is like the most extreme one. That's the one where you're actually closing your eyes and you're popping out of your body to let another being. So in a sense, it's kind of like possession. So you have to be very in a loving, positive state to attract these beings. But this is a crazy ability. I know a few. Jane Roberts, I've been watching some of hers, and Abraham. Those are insane channelers, and I've watched some of them. And yeah, that state of channeling is just really extreme, because you are not in your body. There's something else controlling your body, because what these bodies are just physical vessels. Who we really are spiritual beings made of energy and frequency, right? Vibration. And we incarnated into these bodies to experience an experience, right? If you ask me, that the molecule of kind of like of God, I mean, I know I'm getting a little bit off topic, but I believe that God is so powerful. So I describe God as one molecule that is moving so infinitely fast, because there are infinite realities, right? So infinitely fast that it's creating all those simultaneously happening right here and right now. Even my leg, the skin on my arm, the hair, all that, it's moving so fast. Even the birds that fly in the air, it's giving off the illusion. And now, that might sound silly and whatever, but if you ask me, that is unfathomable power. That is insane power, right? So I like to describe God as this insane force that can do that, right? But there are three types of channels. There's intuitive channeling, there's conscious channeling, and there's trance channeling. So those are the three types of channels. You can practice these by doing meditation. You can't just adapt trance channeling, right? There are some beings, and human beings, that have acquired this ability. Just, they have been born into it with their soul contracts, and that's just what they were wanting to experience as an angelic being before incarnating, right? Because this experience, we're here to understand duality, how to understand, to balance the good and evil in the world, right? And so those are the three types of channels. Those are, again, it's a whole other topic to where you can get really in depth with that as well. And then we got the fourth question. I have always considered myself an atheist. What spiritual path would be best for me? Atheists, obviously, they don't really believe in a religion or a God or anything that has created them. But at the same time, they do believe in the beauty of reality, the beauty of one's own power. And so if you ask me, if you're an atheist and you're looking for a spiritual path to take, the path that I say to take would be the one that makes you feel the most love inside, the most positive energy that you can emit out in the world, right? Because what I'm trying to show and what I want to convey to you guys is that I am the living example of someone documenting throughout these years that we'll have together, and I'll grow this audience, to the best of my abilities, to where I can show actual speaking things into existence, taking action on it, and then feeling the vibration of that, and then watching it manifest, right, through the documentation of these videos. So the best spiritual path for an atheist would be the best one that makes you feel the most love. So it's like, you don't have to have an attachment towards anything of a godlike anything being. It's just, what can you connect to the most in those spiritual teachings that will gather you the most love inside, right? So that's what I had to say about that question. Question number 5. Do we get to choose? I love this question a lot. I really like this question. Do we get to choose to have our memory wiped and come back to Earth in a new body? Is it our choice? Okay. So a lot of people have heard, when you're coming to this spiritual awakening, you hear about this, I don't know what that was. You hear about this soul contract, right? And that we sign this soul contract or whatever before incarnating into these bodies, right? These physical vessels. So if you ask me to this question, I think that yes, you are fully aware that you're checking off the box, wipe my memory, because the whole purpose of this is that we were, and we are we're very powerful, in tune to the universe beings before we incarnated, right? So of course we're going to believe, because it's a new experience, right? That is the consciousness of the universe, and what I believe is of creation. It's always creating new experiences, new experiences, new experiences. So as angelic as these beings were, when they incarnated into these bodies, right, when we were born, we were vibrationally shifted down to these 3D vibrations, right, because we're in the 3D realm. And even though things the vibrations are raising in the beginning, we manifested into the 3D, so therefore our vibrations have to lower. So do we have a choice to have our memory wiped? Yes, 100%. I believe 100% yes, because of the soul contracts, and that we have the choice, we always have the choice to make any decision we want to make. So we definitely have the choice in the angelic realms to check off the box, yes, wipe my memory, because I want to find my own unique path. I don't want to know. And at the same time, there are people, and kids even at that, that remember all of their past lives and their angelic experiences and things like that. And yes, 100%, I believe that they probably checked off the box, or didn't check the box that says, no, don't wipe my memory, because I want to be aware of what all this is and what I'm coming here to do, right? They want to be like some type of teacher or something, I don't know. Others want to find it a different way. I guess I wanted to find it a different way. So that's the answer to that question. I hope that helps you out a little bit with that one, if you were wondering that. The sixth and final question: am I able to combine my Christian upbringing with alternative, or Eastern teachings? Okay, great question. Because I was raised Baptist Christian and I kind of strayed away from that. It was my choice because things for me just didn't feel right with that type of religion, Christianity, and I grew up Baptist Christian, so it just didn't feel right for me. And so it's kind of like a two-part question. So the two-part question, the reason it's two parts is because I don't believe that you can be a Christian, as an actual Christian, and then do Buddhism things or things like this or whatever, and dabble into other things. I don't believe you can be like a real genuine believer if you're dabbling into this, because this 100%, this is what you believe, this is it. I don't even need to look into anything else because of for whatever reason. So if you ask me, that's what I believe. I don't believe that if you call yourself a genuine Christian, I don't believe that you should be on this curious, outside the box, journey, right? The other part to that is that, it's like, no, you can't combine it because of that, right? But yes, you can combine it if you are not attaching yourself to Christianity, right? So if you grew up a Christian and you love everything about what's in the Bible, because I believe the Bible is 100% coded. There's so much code in that Bible that you got to read it a lot and go even more in depth and think outside the box than what's really being said in what you're reading. So that, yes, there is a reality where you can coexisting with Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, all of those things, and you can kind of create and take what you want and just create your own being that makes you feel the happiness and love inside, right? So no to the Christians who say I am a dead hard Christian, right? I would say that am I able to combine my Christian upbringing with alternative Eastern teachings? I would say just no. You can learn about them, but I don't think practicing them is really going to convey the point to fellow Christian believers or anyone that you would want to be a Christian, that's saying that, oh, I do these types of meditation, or I do this Buddhism practice or Hinduism or whatever it is, that I don't think that is vibrationally in alignment, right? So it's a two-part question. It's a yes and no. Yes, you can combine it if you're not attached to everything about what Christianity is, which means that you're just kind of a seeker finding your own peace, your own bliss. You're finding your duality, what gives you the balance in this reality. So it's a two-part question if you ask me. It's a yes and no. Anyways, guys, that is 6 questions that I wanted to start off with. And this is going to be a series that I want to do. It's called Talking with iTunes, or Talks with iTunes. I'm not sure what I want to go with yet. But I have been doing this on my Snapchat, and just to kind of gain the confidence, because I know, like you guys watching, that it is really hard to gain the confidence to do this, to speak on camera, and to even flow and not be stuttering and whatever that is, and to think fluidly, right? It's not easy. So I want to be that example, the same as my dance crew name is Wild Cards. I want to be the wild card that makes it in life, right? Because I genuinely didn't believe in crazy abundance, right? Driving Lamborghinis, living in crazy awesome houses, traveling the world, living free, maintaining businesses off the internet, creating other businesses. I never really imagined myself to do this until I realized that, oh my gosh, everything is you, and that you are everything, and that everything's happening here and now, and that the only way to attract that is to start right now working on yourself, getting yourself in preparation for those ultimate realities. And so that's what we're going to be talking about here on this channel is, we're moving a little bit out of the vlogs, and we're moving into the wisdom. And I'm definitely going to be doing more dance videos because of me doing this. I'm finding way more joy in my life and in my everyday to put out content. Because why? Because I'm doing daily meditations in the morning. I'm going out and doing things, and always combating the mind of my subconscious that was not giving me what I wanted, right? What I needed, which was love and positivity and just a great flowing reality. So I just want to say I love all you guys. Thanks for tuning in and watching this episode. This is going to be a great new series that I want to do, talking with iTunes we don't know yet. Let me know in the comments down below. If you have any questions that you would like answered as well, comment down below those questions, because I would love to answer them. This is what this page is about. I want to spread my experiences and my wisdom, my knowledge that I have learned, and I'm going to put that back out there into the world, because I feel like I have hit a perfect time in my life to start doing this. I've been wanting to do this for like 2+ years, 3 years, even probably longer than that. And I just was a little bit fearful. And fear is only false evidence appearing real. And we're going to leave it on that, guys. Love you so much.